South Africa and Georgia, folks. 55 points to 10. Apologies, this one's a wee bit delayed. 3 in the morning, plus my daughter being a bit crook has made me watch rugby later than planned. But hey, I watched it. 55-10, like I said, kind of meets the expectations without exceeding them or dropping below them, because the bookies had it at like, what, 44, 45, 46 point margin. Pretty much bang on. I think the Boks will be happy with a few things and want to work on a few things ahead of the Rugby Championship. Scrum was looking dominant. Debutants got on the board, which is always very pleasing for them. Line speed was shutting down the Georgians. And from a Georgian point of view, I think things like facing that Bok line speed, getting charged down as many times as they did, the pressure they were under from the Bok kick chasers, like that's a learning experience for them as well. Because you can practice all you want, but sometimes you need to just be up against it to really feel what it is going to be like. And they didn't have maybe the time and space they were used to. So I think the Boks will be happy with those few things. They coughed up a bit of ball, though, the Boks. They conceded another maul try, which is really unusual for South African maul defense, because they conceded one against the Italians not too long ago as well. So it's just kind of uncharacteristic, even if the Georgians are a pack known to be, you know, one of the stronger ones in terms of the tier 2 nations. But yeah, for South Africa to concede another maul try is just a little bit unusual. And, you know, at times the lineup was a little bit wobbly. But yeah, in patches, when the Boks got it right, like bang, 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 3 early tries, bang, 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 3 late tries, some tries in the middle too. But we'll go through the key events and the stats. You guys can let us know your thoughts on the game. Grant Williams, who I thought was pretty sharp overall, did have a kick error early, which put the Boks under pressure. And Sio Kolisi also went off with an HIA, which he passed, but not an ideal start for the Boks to be down their own end. And then even less ideal when the Georgians got that maul try, like I mentioned, the hooker Kakadze. He goes over for that one, so 7 points to 0 with a good conversion from Makava. I think about as perfect start as they could have expected, the Georgians. It doesn't really get much better than that. You're leading the South Africans down in South Africa. Didn't last too long, though, because the Boks scrum, as I said, started turning the screws. They went close range, and then Bohan Fenter, I felt really chuffed for him, because he's had not like the stereotypical journey to get himself in the green and gold, but he got the call up, and he's made the most of it here. Close range try and scrummaging well. Yeah, back on the road to success, I guess, the Boks, after an early try conceded, but they were still behind because Sasha missed his kick. And boy, did he miss some kicks. Sasha didn't kick well in this game, and like it made it even look worse when Pollard came on late. Not late, but came on in the second half. Had a really wide conversion to hit. He just slotted it. So it just contrasted a little bit with the way Sasha was kicking them. But yeah, 5 points to 7 with the misconversion. And then Manus van der Merwe also got himself on the board in his debut as well. He got 2, but he got his first one not long after Bohan Fenter's one. Again, it's from the kick chase, man. The Georgians, I don't think, are used to that in terms of just the pressure that was being applied to them. I think it was the veteran as well, Todua, just got caught in the backfield. The Springboks turned him over, won a penalty, went for touch, mauled it, and bam, they are in the lead. They will not relinquish that lead. So 10 points to 7. Georgia almost kind of, you felt like, wrestled the momentum away because they just conceded 2 quick-fire tries, but then gave away, like, because they were down the box end, gave away a really soft obstruction penalty, just getting in each other's way. And then what did the Boks do? Like, immediately in reply, Moody goes over in the corner. It's Williams with the break. Edwin van der Merwe on support, and then Moody finishes it off with some power over in the corner. 15 points to 7 with another misconversion. The Georgians did get a penalty, at least to get some points again on the board in reply. But that was their final scoring of the game on like the 27th minute. But after pretty much half an hour, to be 15-10 down for the Georgians, I don't think it's too bad. Obviously, it would have been 21-10 if the goals had been going over from Sasha, but still, 15-10 is what it was. And I think if you'd offered the Georgians 15-10 before kickoff after half an hour, probably wouldn't have sounded too unappealing, I reckon. But how did South Africa reply to conceding that penalty? They got a penalty of their own in terms of winning a scrum penalty. They went for touch, they mauled it, and Manus got his second. So it's kind of like, you get 3, we will take 7. Thank you very much. So 22-10, that is the halftime score. So it's only a 12-point advantage at halftime. The Boks have had more possession. They've had more territory. When they've looked sharp, they've looked sharp. And as I said, they are putting the Georgian guys under a fair bit of pressure. But the Georgians have had their moments in that first half. Second half, more South African pressure on the kick chase. Got themselves a nice attacking lineout, but they lost it. So that's what I mean about, like, sometimes it was a little bit patchy, but from the resulting 5-meter scrum, because they had pushed the Georgians back in their own goal area, they still managed to score anyway. Wide ball from Williams out to Edwill van der Merwe. Pretty sweet stuff. So 27-10. More South African line speed, more South African charge downs, just not giving the Georgians any time to breathe. 56 minutes, it's a 5-meter scrum again. Pollard to Willems are the two subs who've come on, looking sharp, and that's the one that Pollard just nailed from the sideline in terms of his conversion. So 34-10. It is starting to look a little bit ugly, but the Georgians, again, like, didn't just roll over. They kept fighting. On 66 minutes, they had another chance to go for a maul, and this time the Boks were able to shut them down. So they'll be a bit happy with their maul defense on that one, because it genuinely was a good attacking chance for the Georgians. 73 minutes after we've had a fairly long, break between scoring. We've not had a try for the Boks since the 56th minute, and we're getting towards the final 10 minutes of the game. Faf puts a dink over for Edwill van der Merwe, so another one of the subs making an impact with Faf with that little dink. 41-10, well taken try. Edwill van der Merwe's only had a couple of starts for the Springboks, but his try scoring record is really looking pretty bloody good. South Africa can get the hands going. Maybe, is it the nicest try of the lot? I just love seeing Achia Snyman with the offloads, man. He offloads Williams again, who's come on, because Faf's had to go off. Curtly Arendse gets one for him. 48-10, and then icing on the cake, they bring up the 50. Pollard is the one who gets it. Again, it's from their own half. This was another pretty sweet one, I think. Was it Kwaka, Moody, Edwill? All these guys were involved. I think Vincent Koch had the final pass. But yeah, 55 points to 10. So like I said, when the Boks got it right, like 9th minute, 14th minute, 19th minute, bang, bang, bang. 73rd minute, 79th, 81st, bang, bang, bang. When they got it right, they were a force to be reckoned with, but sometimes they didn't get it right. And sometimes you got to give a bit of credit to the Georgians for that. They put in a fight when they had a chance to put in a fight. Like some of the stats which highlight this, like run meters is 632 to 125. That highlights, just when the Boks were getting the go for ball, they were cutting the Georgians to bits. The clean breaks is 10-2. So yeah, it's reflected in the scoreline. But I mean, the turnovers won is 7 each. So you got to give to, not many teams go to South Africa and win 7 turnovers. That's the Georgians. Missed tackles is 35 by the Georgians, 22 by the Boks. Like the Georgian one, again, kind of makes sense because the Boks had that many attacking plays, but for the Georgians to bust that many tackles is encouraging. Sometimes the Boks have a slightly higher missed tackle count because of their line speed. They're just trying to get up in your face and not necessarily make the tackle. They might just put you off half a step rather than actually, drive you into the dirt. It's the next guy that drives you into the dirt. So, yeah, but I still think it's a little bit higher than the Boks would have liked. The penalty count was pretty much even, 9-8. So there's a few things there that the Georgians will kind of take a bit of heart from, despite the scoreline. Offloads, though, 13-3. South Africa's always got the reputation of not being offload team. Watch Achia Snyman and tell me the Boks don't offload the ball, man. 13-3. They chucked the ball around a fair bit. Individuals, Curtly Arendse 83 meters, Edwill van der Merwe 76 meters, Moody 75 meters. So these guys were properly getting into some space. Peter Steff, top tackler for the Boks with 10. I think it was Nokia who got man of the match. Kolisi had 3 dominant tackles. Goal kicking is 5 from 9. So Sasha's boot, as I said, was not quite on song in this one. But the kicker team-wise, which I think Russie will be, I don't know if it's unhappy about, but he'll be, highlighting to the guys. Turnovers conceded is 23-14. 23 is a lot of coughed up ball. I think the average would probably be 15. If you're getting towards 20, it's high. To be 20 plus is, I don't want to say concerning because it's a 55-10 game, but it's the kind of thing that you'd rather happen now than when you get to the Rugby Championship. So, yeah, that's that one, and maybe you'd want to kick your goals. At least more than 5 from 9. But, Kivaladze, the 12 for Georgia, had 16 tackles. They certainly had some guys putting their hands up too. But as I said, I think they will be better for having had a real tough game down in South Africa. You could see the interactions between the players on the field at the end of the game. I think the Georgians, they want this kind of game, and they learn from this kind of game. You can't practice that kind of pressure in training. So yeah, I think that'll be good for them. Despite the scoreline, it kind of goes with what the predictions were in the box. I think will be sharper for the Rugby Championship, having had this game too. But you guys let us know your thoughts. Who were you particularly impressed by in this performance? Did anyone disappoint? Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'm off to watch more rugby. There's heaps of games I haven't seen. England and the USA, Argentina and Uruguay and whatnot. But yes, South Africa and Georgia in the bag. You guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.